Hello and welcome to Hockey Hypothetical, serious answers to silly questions. Each episode we'll be taking a preposterous scenario that we've made up from the world of hockey and trying to produce genuine responses to the what-if questions. My name is Jonathan Fernley, I'm here with Stephen Dowson, and Douse, here's our first Hockey Hypothetical for today. You are the owner of an Elite League team.
I've been upgraded.
Hypothetical enough already.
I was a coach, and now I'm an owner. Brilliant.
You are an owner, yeah. We've moved on for episode 2. You're the owner. You've got £1 million.
Hooray!
You just suddenly come into £1 million.
Okay.
It's free money.
All right.
How are you going to spend it on your team?
You see, this is where I feel like my answer is going to be controversial, and it's also going to be quite expected. Because you would think, well, I've got £1 million. I'm going to go out and buy myself. I mean, the obvious answer is you go and buy yourself a proper world-class netminder. You know, you buy someone who is just going to be unbeatable at this level. Do you see what I mean? You just go, are you playing second line in the KHL? Well, here's $500,000 over the course of a year. Come and netmine in my team. And you will be unbeatable, and I will win all of the trophies.
So you value a league championship at £500,000?
Well, I'm using the other $500,000 for the rest of the squad. You know.
You value one championship at £1 million?
Yes. Depends who I am. I'm not in for the long term. I'm an owner. I'm mad. I imagine if I'm an owner of a hockey club, I must be some...
But your initial instinct then is to spend this on winning a championship?
It depends who I am. But no.
But the thing is, with £1 million, it doesn't matter who you are. You could recruit a championship team. No team in the Elite League has £1 million yearly wage budget.
I imagine this is on top of the usual money I'd spend.
Oh, yeah. You've already committed it. Maybe you've already... Well, let's say the money arrives let's say it arrives in May. You may have recruited a player or two. You may have got some on contract from last year. But £1 million has arrived in. So you can give it to your coach.
Yeah.
As a wage rise. Or you can give it to your coach to say this is your new and improved playing budget for next year.
Yeah.
Or you could spend it around the rink.
You see, this is... So when I framed my question, I said, the obvious answer is buy some very, very good players. I, however, coming from my unique background of working in the sports entertainment aspect of hockey, would probably argue I would go out and spend £1 million on some amazing projections. So, you know those really amazing projectors you see in the NHL?
Oh, they do the light shows on the ice?
Yeah. Do you know how much they cost?
Is it about £1 million?
If you want 4 really good ones, it's going to cost you, I think it's in the area of around about $500,000. I think if you want 4 good ones. Somebody's going to correct me in the comments. I think my mate Dave said they come in at around about 120.
Isn't it good to have a my mate Dave?
And my mate Dave, who works in tech, I think he said they come in at around about 180 ago. So I get 4 of them, and it improves nothing other than the 2 minutes before every game. Because here's the problem with doing that as well. I now need to hire a video editing team who make new content every week. Oh, and I probably need to hire 2 or 3 technicians for that to work. But that's not the problem. I've got some nice projectors on the ice.
Yeah, if you're going to spend all that $1 million in one go on a piece of kit, you've got to hope that piece of kit doesn't break.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the money to repair it and replace it. But if you're spending half of your money on that, and then maybe, say, another $100,000 in extra costs, whether it be staff and technicians, what have you, you can leave some back for the day that it breaks and it needs a new bulb or
heck of a new bulb.
Well, yeah, it's a good bulb. I'm not saying it's not a good bulb, but it's a new bulb.
It's actually more operating them. They are just, they need a whole operating suite, and they need people. You need people to create content for it. It's very. I mean, we get this all the time. No matter which club you support in any league, we should get some of these video screens, and we should put this stuff on the ice. And you go, yeah, we should. But then we need to hire somebody who's very expensive to create brand new content every single week. I mean, if you saw what the Golden Knights are doing before every game, it was fantastic, brilliant. That's 3 people's jobs that week to create that kind of video content. So maybe I don't. Maybe I spend my money on a nice big video display board. There you go. That's $250,000. Spend that.
Same issues though with surely needing the video producers,
Yeah.
or at least the person if it's acting as a big scoreboard.
Yeah, but you don't need to change everything. You don't need to change everything every week with that. Do you see what I mean? You just need to hire a guy for a couple of months to make.
Can we outsource it to the local sixth form college?
Possibly, and
get them to run it as volunteers.
Maybe there's ways and means.
We've got £1 million. We still want to cut corners where possible.
Of course we can. So yeah, I'm spending about a cool $250,000 on a nice new scoreboard. I'm then spending about $150,000 on lighting. Now, full disclosure, I do the technical side of the Sheffield Steelers, and I go to other hockey clubs, and I weep. Oh, how I weep at their automated lighting structure that we just can't get in the Sheffield arena. We just can't get it. And even I used to go to Hull games and just be like, oh my god, they got disco lights, but because it's so small, it works and it's brilliant. So yeah, I'd probably spend way more than $100,000 on lights because I know what I'm like as a person.
Okay, but let's say that you are hypothetically the owner of the Hull Pirates back in the Elite League in a few years' time.
Yeah,
that £1 million, you don't need to spend it on lights. The ceiling is too low for that projection to work. If you can't spend it on lights and the sound system doesn't need it,
I don't even
can
know
you
why
only
I'm
spend
there.
it on the team? Or are you dropping ticket prices and saying, actually, it's only $5 to get in?
Yeah,
I'll take the hit.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm doing. I'm probably trying to build a fan base. But also, £1 million is a good down payment on maybe an upgrade to the arena. Do you see what I mean? Just as a starting point and see if I can get the council to chip in the rest and improve the facilities and somewhat. Because I think areas like Hull and Manchester's a really good example. I think Manchester do so well to... I'm trying to think of a polite way of saying it. They tart up a pig really well at Manchester. It's an old rink. It's made out of iron. It's not very attractive to look at. It's not a great place to see a game, but they make it look amazing. That you go in there and you're in the storm shelter. That this is a club that is proud of where it is, and that the rink owners are proud of them as well. So you get that sense. I think that's what if I'm taking over a small club, I've got $1 million. I'm trying to make the whole thing. It's about experience. Hockey's an experience, unlike many other sports. I think we've both taken friends to other sports, and we've taken people who are brand new to both either sport or just ice hockey to ice hockey games, and they've gone, wow, this is... Do you know what I mean? I think it's one of the biggest selling points of the sport is I don't think many sports make you, in the first couple of minutes, make you go, wow. And that's what I'd be building. That wow factor makes you come back, I think. It's always been... and of course I would say that, but I think it's the wow factor. I've still got $500,000 left.
So you've not bought the big super duper flashy lights?
I just don't think I can. I don't think I can afford the team to make brand new video content. And like I say, if I'm in a small arena, there's no real point. So I've still got $500,000 left. Yeah, I'm probably raising the wage bill. I mean, are we still on the gentleman's agreement in the Elite League? And
does that exist?
It used to, didn't it? Didn't there used to be like a?
Well, there was a cap, and then there wasn't, and then the Steelers spent a lot, and then.
Yeah,
there were rumours that other teams were spending a lot but being more creative with it. And
so we just gave up on it, didn't we?
Well, they tried to introduce a salary cap in rugby league, and then the player was signed on a very modest wage, but his wife was working in the club shop for $100,000 a year. Yeah, so there are issues with salary caps. So no, there is no limit. If you want to spend big money on a player, you can do that. But this is hypothetical. You can do what you like.
But is there a problem then in buying a league?
No.
No,
there's not a problem.
No, you don't
with
think
buying
so.
a league.
As a Miami Marlins fan, you don't think there's a problem with?
No, the Marlins have got plenty of money. They just choose not to spend it.
Well, yeah, but there was that one time when they bought the league.
Oh, they did, and they won it. Yeah, it was great.
Was it great?
It was, yeah.
Okay.
It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, you wouldn't feel it was cheap?
No, it was one of my great memories as a kid was seeing the Marlins win that World Series. Loved it.
Yeah.
But I don't think any championship is really devalued by anything that comes out afterwards relating to money.
Yeah, that's true.
I think championships, I'm sort of thinking Tour de France here.
Mm.
You know, when we all heard about Lance Armstrong, I thought, oh, man, I was really happy for him when he won his 7th. That was great. They were good summers. I enjoyed watching that. I was pleased for him. And that's now a bad memory. But I don't look back at this, for example, the Steelers Grand Slam team of 2000, 2001 and think, well, they won all 4 trophies, but they were paid too much. No, that's not a thing that concerns me at all. If I found out that one of the players was on performance-enhancing drugs, that would bother me.
Yeah.
But I don't care about the money because it is a level playing field in that everyone is equal and able to spend as much as they want to.
If you knew that next year there was an elite league club spending twice the amount of money as everybody else, and they were a team you didn't particularly like, and they won the league, you wouldn't throw that as the only accusation towards them. Well, you bought the league, haven't you?
Yeah. But that's just rivalry. But it wouldn't mean that it was wrong. What I would want my team to do is to say, right, they've got all the money, but we've got money ball.
Okay.
We can take advantage of the things that they can't because of money.
Yeah.
There's always a way of getting around these things.
So how are you spending your million?
Like you, I want to put on the good match night experience.
Yeah.
When I think of stadiums I've been to around Europe, around the world for other sports, I've always been really impressed with the sort of mid-level banner scoreboards that go all the way around the rink.
Yeah.
At the top of that first tier.
Yeah.
And you can make them, they all flash goal and it spins around and it just looks visually great. I think they work better than a scoreboard a lot of the time.
I think they're more expensive than a scoreboard a lot
Probably.
of the time.
But if my rink allows it,
Yeah.
I'd rather have a new one of those than a new video board or something that hangs above centre ice.
Wow.
Because I think it allows you to do a lot of stuff with it. I also agree with the light. I think it's great when you can project your club's logo onto the ice or you can splash a bit of colour. But if you can make the whole rink glow one colour, it's fantastic.
It's amazing, isn't it?
I love the idea of that some teams, I think Brea do it with the mobile phone app, and it plays a pre-programmed thing.
Yeah.
But you're requiring all your fans to have a phone and be prepared to hold it up for a couple of minutes. But if you can make that rink all purple, you can do some really impressive lighting things. So I think if your rink allows it, that's worth something. I'm certainly dropping the prices a couple of quid.
Yeah.
I want to spread the million out across as long as I can. So I want to buy long-term things.
Okay.
Because if you buy a championship now,
yeah,
that's a lot. So I would put a little bit aside. So, okay, you can spend a little bit extra on this player or this player or this player. Or, a little bit more on every player across the board. And see if that increases enough to win you a championship. If it's not, right, okay, well, I budget that much for the next 10 years. Okay, instead you can have twice as much for the next 5 years. I don't want to spend too much winning. I want to spend as little as possible and still win. So I'm going to set aside a chunk of it for playing-wise, probably half, maybe have to be a little bit more like a third or a quarter of it for playing-wise. And the rest of it is going on getting the fans in, make it nice and cheap so that the money is sustainable, as a long-term impact. I've built up a big fan base. We're putting on a great show. And with a little bit of extra money spent on the ice, we're winning some more games. And we'll keep spending a little bit more until those enough games become championship-winning games.
Interestingly, that neither of us said we'd develop or increase the coaching staff or improve the off-ice facility, the training facility.
Mainly because I hadn't thought of it. This is a hypothetical that's been thrown up on us.
That's true.
By ourselves, admittedly, but at short notice to see what immediately comes to mind.
Like we wouldn't get...
Well, I'd ask a coach, if you as a coach, going back to episode 1, you're the coach or you're the owner, whatever. If you were given an extra 50 grand in your recruitment budget...
Would you spend it on a player or just spend it on
Are
a
you
person?
spending half of that on a full-time assistant coach?
Yeah.
Are you spending half of that on a full-time goalkeeping coach?
See, this is it.
Are you bringing a goalkeeping coach in for pre-season training and then bringing them in later in the year? Or
well, see, I think you're talking about impact, isn't it? Because if I've only got 50 grand, then the only thing I can really do is get a good quality player with that. And,
a couple of players, maybe.
Well, or not, depending on how good the quality player is.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So That's what I can do. That's the impact I can have. But if I have 150